So we're in our second part of a series talking about the advent of peace through the birth of Jesus this Christmas season. And I'm here in Washington, D.C., and I'm just down the way from the Washington Capitol, a stately building, this beautiful building, this dignified building that has not known very much peace in the past few years. Maybe it's never known a whole lot of peace, but we think of this building as this austere place where law and order is the order of the day for the good of the people. And of course, we might look cynically and say that's not really the case. That's a cliché. People want the cliché. And I think when we think of peace, the advent of peace through Jesus, I think we think in clichés. People want cliché Jesus. I saw a masterpiece of a movie not too long ago called Miscongeniality. And the premise of that movie is that there is this nefarious plot to murder somebody at a Miss America pageant or some kind of a beauty pageant. And the only person who can infiltrate and go undercover in the FBI to foil the plot is an FBI agent who is anything but the picture of femininity, not the quintessential stereotypical beauty pageant winner. So she fumbles through and finally she gets to the question period. Now, what you see during the question period is sort of the cliché questions people usually ask the contestants. And so in the scene, you see the contestants saying this phrase, world peace, world peace, world peace. And every time they say it, the audience erupts in applause. Then you finally figure out what the question is they're answering. And the question is, what is the one thing our society needs today? Of course, it's a cliché question and it's a cliché answer. People love clichés, but world peace has become such a vacuous term now because it's so cliché that it means almost nothing. Well, we come to our heroine and she's asked the same question. What is the one thing our society needs? And she's not going to be vacuous. She says, tougher sentencing for parole violators. And of course, now it's crickets. No one applauds for the substantive answer. They want the cliché. I think people want cliché Jesus. When they think of a peaceful Jesus, they think of a man who talks so softly, he's almost begging to be ignored. He walks with even steps and his head never bobs and there's a light behind his head and he's constantly looking up and he's as gentle as they possibly come. This is cliché Jesus. It's not the historical Jesus. The historical Jesus was someone who was gentle enough where kids would come to him, but he was passionate enough that the hypocrites oftentimes in power fled from him. We read in Matthew chapter 10, starting in verse 34, Jesus says, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace on the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a person's enemies will be those of his own household." And then he goes on to say this. What is all this about? He says, "Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." What Jesus is saying is that if you're looking for comfort and ease in this world, you're looking to the wrong guy. If you think peace is measured by ease of relationships with other people, if you think peace is just simply the absence of conflict, you're looking in the wrong place. Jesus can become our peace, and we'll see that soon. But he is not the cliché. What he does is he champions the cause of those who are afflicted. He opposes the proud, but he also offers redemption to each one of us. And sometimes picking up that cross, perhaps of our own pride, perhaps of our own shortcomings. This is the peace we need, but it is the peace we reject. We want universal acceptance. Jesus is not so cliché as to say that I accept everything that you think and do, but he is so austere, but also so compassionate that he offers you and I forgiveness despite the things we do, because you and I are made in God's image. What that means, we'll find out next.